In our family, there are 3 sisters, and as the eldest sister, I have a particularly close relationship with the youngest sister. Over time, the bond between our children also became deep. My younger sister was the first among us to get married. Regrettably, she suffered an unfortunate miscarriage 2 years ago due to poor fetal development. After that, we almost simultaneously welcomed our own children. However, my sister's child was physically weaker and smaller in size compared to other children of the same age. When the children were around 2 to 3 years old, a series of peculiar events started to occur. My sister often dreamt about children she did not recognize playing with our children. Her daughter, who was skinnier and weaker compared to girls her age, often fell over, so we initially thought she had developmental delay and even had checked. But then, one day, while she was holding her daughter on her lap while using her phone, she suddenly felt a push, and her child mysteriously fell to the ground. Once the child got up, she casually said,
"Mom, you hold it."
And then went to the living room to play. Later, during a family trip to Alishan, my sister's child suddenly had an asthma attack. An elderly forest ranger insisted we immediately descend the mountain, stating that our aura was not good. That night, in the hospital, my sister's daughter was put on a children's oxygen mask. Strangely enough, the child's blood oxygen level was normal when the lights were on. But as soon as the lights were switched off, her blood oxygen level would plummet, causing my sister to lose sleep. They were unable to finish their week-long trip as planned, so they decided to return to Wanhua to meet with my daughter. That night, at 3 a.m., a pizza machine toy in the children's toy area suddenly started to sing, "I like pizza. I like cooking." This scared me. The next day, I thoroughly inspected all toy sound settings, but that night, the same toy started singing the pizza song again. This time, my daughter was awakened, her cry shrill. On the 3rd night, the pizza machine sang again, and the child's cry was even louder and more distressing. She was pointing to the toy area and kept repeating, "There, there." The next day, we decided to take the children to the temple for a prayer and discarded the pizza machine toy. My sister also sent me a photo of them at the Alishan rest station. The sunlight in the photo was bright but overly dazzling that their faces became blurred in the photo. It had a penetrating feel to it. They also went to pray and consulted the deity and learned that an unborn child was following them, but there was no malicious intent. And my daughter's crying at night was simply because she wanted to play with the toy. Not long after, a colleague told me that he had a toy to give to our daughter, and the next day, he brought exactly the same pizza machine toy. I don't know whether this is a coincidence or... Anyhow, it was an unsettling experience for my sister and me.
This female student inherently has the ability to see ghosts. On a particular night, she and her 3 classmates felt bored and went to an empty classroom in their elementary school. At that time, someone proposed to play a game called Four Corners. In this game, first of all, 4 people are required to each stand in a corner of the room. The room must be kept in complete darkness. No lights can be turned on. The first person moves forward and goes to the position of the second person, then taps the shoulder of the second person. Then, the first person will stand in the position of the second person. Next, it's the turn of the second person to go directly to the position of the third person. Tap the shoulder, and so on like this. So, in the end, everyone will move forward 1 spot and meet the person in that corner. Except for the 4th moving person. He will move to the original position of the first person, and the position of the first person should be empty, with no one there. And my classmate, she happened to be the 4th person. Unexpectedly, when she walked back to the position of the first player, it was very strange. She encountered a person. This person was all wet because she was facing his back, so she didn't see the face of the wet person. Theoretically, in her current first base position, there should be no one. Who is this extra wet person? She suddenly realized there was an extra person, so she shouted out loud, "Hey, everyone, I think we should leave." So they all hurried to leave. She only shared up until this point and did not share anything further with us. Only later, in a talk show, from a ghost story by a celebrity shared, I learned that this was actually a ritual for summoning ghosts. The second is when this classmate was studying in Xiaolihoqiu. There were graves in their school. One morning, when she was cleaning in the school, and suddenly saw a hand, and that hand was even making the movement of pulling at her clothes. She felt very scared at the moment. Unconsciously, she followed it to the grave in the school, and when she got to the location of the grave, the hand just disappeared. Just as she was trying to understand the situation, she looked at the grave suddenly. The grave was very messy. Later she seemed to understand something, and ran to tell their class teacher to clean the grave. Because of her constitution, she often encountered this kind of thing since she was a child. She is used to such strange incidents.
If you want to see my videos faster, please like and subscribe to my channel and press the bell icon to get new video updates.